So as far as Flipkart is concerned, there was no GPA criteria last year. The branches eligible were CSE, MNC and EC if I remember correctly. And although the GPA does not play a very vital role in Flipkart, it always helps if you have a decent GPA by your side. So the work profile which was offered to us was that of an SDE intern, and this process consisted of first a coding round which was of 90 minutes, and we had to solve 3 problems. After that, the shortlisted candidates had to go through 3 rounds of interviews, the first 2 of them being technical rounds, and the third round and the final round was the hiring manager round. I basically started coding a bit late as compared to others. I started last January with Code ISM classes, and thereon I tried to complete an ample amount of questions per day in order to keep pace with the others. I practiced on various platforms such as Codeforces, CodeChef, Spodge and AdCoder. And in the last month, my preparation strategy basically focused on projects and the interview preparation. Yes, the competition was a bit stiff. Around 200 people had given the coding round. After that, only 12 people were shortlisted for the interviews. And after the interviews were over, only 5 people were given the offers to intern with Flipkart. I worked on 2 projects in Flipkart. One of them focused on backend and other on frontend. So the first project was basically to automate some changes that were done manually during sales. This was the backend project, and the other project involved adding some features to the Flipkart dashboard by making some apt UI changes. The work culture of Flipkart is something which really stands out. We have the motto of work hard, party harder. The work-life balance is really great, and I would like to tell you about one thing. We used to have these daily breakout sessions with our team where all of the members of the team would come together and we'd play games and discuss various kinds of stuff. So that was the most fun part about it. The most important thing here is to try to be as honest and genuine in your work as possible. Of course, you will be having some doubts and problems, but you should ask those doubts and problems to your mentors and managers. They're always there to help you. And try to complete the project within the deadline and try to complete it as in the best way possible. One thing which the students basically focus is the CTC and the stipend of the company. So that should not be the case. You should talk to your seniors, know much about the work culture that is being followed in the company, what are the projects that is being given, and the overall development scope of an individual there. So you should consider these criteria above the CTC and stipend, right? So that is my advice. So I was a part of the Abhay Dramatics Club in college, and I still am. I am still a member of the ADC, and ADC has taught me a lot. From the first year to the final year, I have learned to be a team member. I've learned to be very confident with whatever I do. I am now much more bold than ever, and these skills really stand out when you go for a job or when you go in the corporate life. Apart from ADC, I am also a member of the SCPT team of the college, so I think that is also a very responsible position to be a part of. One important thing is to focus more on the skill set development of an individual. So in college, the focus is basically on courses that have been coming up for many years, but these days the skill set requirement is very different, and to fulfill these requirements, you should try and go for an internship at least in these 4 years, 4 or 5 years of your college life. That will really help you before you actually join a permanent job in the corporate life. So the basic key takeaway is that you learn a lot about how things are implemented in the industry itself. In college, things are very different. We focus more on competitive programming, but programming only forms a very small part of the overall software development cycle. The focus is much more on the design part there, and this is one of the things which I learned there. Also, standardization is something which we're not very aware of as college students, but as you gain the experience, you know that this is really important for the software development. I only have one advice for everyone who's watching this. Don't get bogged down or feel low even if you're rejected in a given interview or so. Give it time. Try to learn from your mistakes, and one day the dream would surely be realized. And when that happens, let me tell you, you'll love it. And so basically focus on the process much more as compared to the goal, and you'll surely realize your dream very soon.